Alright everybody, spawning over here in the bottom left hand side. Don't worry, it's not tasteless. He's not actually competing at Dreamhack. It would be pretty awesome if he was, but we're just going to be borrowing that account. We have, ladies and gentlemen, our resident Korean Zerg boss. What can he do here? It is Moon. He's going to be playing against the blue Zerg player you see here in the top right hand side of your map, ladies and gentlemen. He is none other than AlaStOr. So pretty cool group O. Not 100% certain who is going to be advancing out of it. All of these players have the capacity to take games off of everyone else, so it's going to be incredibly interesting to see which one of them make it through and which one of them are unable to progress. The other two players in this group, of course, are France's AlaStOr, and we also have NicoCad as well. So, four reasonably evenly matched players, I would say, in this particular group, and it's not 100% clear right off the bat. Moon might be the slight favorite. He does, after all, have GSL experience under his belt as well, so that always plays quite well, but you just never know with this kind of game, especially this being a ZVZ. So we see the Overlord's just going to be heading to the positions where they can scout each other's natural expansion, just beelining it for the opponent's bases, no problems whatsoever. We can see a spawning pool first going down for AlaStOr, relatively late one, so eco pool if you like, and he might be going into hatchery, whereas we have Moon over here going to be putting down the hatchery at his natural expansion first, before going into gas and then pool by the looks of things. Is this an extractor trick? It's beginning not to look like it, so it looks like we have gone hatch first into gas and pool. Just a little bit later on the worker count as far as Moon is concerned. He's currently up to 16 as opposed to the 15 from AlaStOr when he did that, and we do have the pool first going into the hatchery and then gas from AlaStOr. Now bear in mind that the earlier pool from AlaStOr will allow him to get a queen earlier than Moon as well, so it's not exactly like he's done a build that's definitely better than this or anything like that, because AlaStOr will be able to get those injects in somewhat faster. So these are effectively two different routes to the same end result. I see everyone in chat really enjoying themselves at the player names. You have no idea how hard it is not to call this guy tasteless right now, man. It's like, it's really tough. Every time I flip to watch the different player, I go, right, and AlaStOr's over there, and over here, what is tasteless doing? No! And I keep stopping myself from doing that, but it should be okay. Moon, very prominent Zerg player, and I do know who the guy is, so hopefully we're not going to be making too much in the way of errors as far as this cast goes. We have got Metabolic Boost a little bit faster here for Moon, so he will be able to try and establish that early map control, but I think the difference really is quite minimal. It's about 20 in-game seconds, and that's nowhere near enough to sort of move away from one end of the map to the other or anything significant like that. More like he can grab a watchtower sooner, so not too much of an advantage there. And in the meantime, a huge round of drones coming out from AlaStOr as well, looking to populate his natural expansion as soon as he possibly can. He's actually up to 29 drones versus the 25 of Moon at the moment, but he actually has another round coming himself. So he's trying to go eco-heavy in this early game. In the meantime, more injects going down at both bases, and we do now have the Baneling Nest going down for AlaStOr. That's going to get put down in his front, so maybe using that as a little bit of a Sim City later on, maybe with some Evo Chambers or Roach Warrens sort of planted down the front of the base there. And it's important to note we have actually no Baneling Nest coming down for Moon, so AlaStOr looking to potentially get aggressive in this early game, but Moon having absolutely none of it. I wonder what he is going to be getting up to. The spawning pool has finished Metabolic Boost, but no tech coming out of him at this time. He's going to be getting a Spine Crawler and a second gas at his natural expansion. But I really wonder if he's just going for very, very fast tech, and that could be very dangerous against some sort of Zergling Baneling composition, but never mind. It looks like Moon is just going to be going forward here with a crap ton of Lings, but the Spine Crawler plus the hold at the ramp there allows AlaStOr to get away just fine. No Lings actually got up into the main base. Number of workers killed is 8, though, because that natural expansion did get ravaged just a little bit, and now we have AlaStOr back on the offensive. He can actually take these things because a lot of them are on low health, but he did not get the surround he wanted to there. Those low HP Lings there from Moon actually surviving with no damage being dealt to them during that second engagement. So that was a little bit unfortunate as far as the engagement for AlaStOr went, and actually he should have been able to hold that as well. So he did lose a number of workers, and as a result, Moon is now ahead 47 to 33. So it just goes to show in this incredibly volatile matchup how quickly the tide can turn. So that was a really good little bit of prodding there from Moon, and to be honest, he really needed that to compensate for the later tech that he's actually going for at the moment. The Baneling Nest only just now going down in his main base, and he is going for a layer at the moment as well, but AlaStOr, of course, has his Baneling Nest complete, and he has also started his layer. It's just unfortunate that he didn't make those Zergling Baneling aggression earlier on in the game count when he needed to, and that just gave Moon the breathing space he needed to go in for a Ling run by and kill a decent number of workers at the natural expansion. In the meantime, we have a macro hatch going down here at the natural for Moon, and we've also have an Evo chamber and a Roach Warren going down for him as well. So it should, things looking like they're about to stabilize here. We do have a third base going down for both of our players as well. Note that with AlaStOr, we actually do not see a Roach Warren go down yet. We have an Evo chamber, but that's about it as far as his tech is concerned. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up going for. We have the Roach Warren complete already, and now going for an infestation pit now as well is Moon. Right next to his macro hatch, and even getting an overseer just to be completely and utterly sure. Are we going to get a cancel off on this hatchery? It doesn't look like it. Oh, there we go. AlaStOr moving back with the Lings. He's trying to focus fire that hatch down, but he doesn't quite have the DPS necessary to force the cancel on that hatch. There are a decent number of Banelings here though from Moon in the bottom right hand corner, and I wonder what he's going to be doing with them a little bit later on, as AlaStOr sending another group of Lings possibly towards a third base location. Yes, it looks like he's just going straight there, but it looks like Moon is going to be able to head him off at the pass, and this Ling run by gets completely and utterly taken out. In the meantime, it looks like he's going to be trying for a little bit of aggression himself, and ooh, very nice. One Baneling for one Baneling, plus some hit points off the rest of them as well. But it looks like these Banelings are going to be able to keep the rest of those Zerglings away, and if that happens, then this hatchery is in danger of just going down immediately. And yes, Moon actually getting a complete surround off on that hatch. There is no way it's going to be saved by AlaStOr. They're really nicely played there from Moon, and AlaStOr is finding himself, after a little bit of damage being taken in the early game, that's just slowly getting more and more and more, which is exactly what you need to do in this ZVZ matchup. So to find a wedge to force your opponent open and then just drive that point home non-stop. So with those initial drones killed, it was possible for Moon just to get a little bit of a bigger army. And once he got that bigger army, he was then able to squeeze out an advantage to the point where he could just deny AlaStOr's third. And now we have Moon in a position where he has a third, his opponent does not, and he's currently up at 124 supply versus the 79 of his opponent. That is the level of dominance we've been seeing in this game so far, but it all came down to that initial harass when he was able to kill those drones off in the natural expansion. AlaStOr might not have been allowing that if he was on the ball just a little bit more. I'm not 100% certain. He does have Infestors out now, though, and a couple of decent Fungals will enable him to completely trap and immobilize this army. So Moon, even though he's at an advantage as far as supply is concerned, and he's also got an extra base, needs to be careful with his engagements, because it's totally possible for him at this point of the game to throw that advantage away if he is not careful. So what do the units look like as Moon going to be going up to the Hydra stand? It looks like a Roach Hydra appears to be the order of the day right here. We have an Infestation Pit and Roaches for AlaStOr as well. No Hydra Den or anything of the sort at this time. He's just going to be going a lot of Roaches in this RB composition after getting a couple of Infestors. And here we go. Moon going to be moving out with a bunch of Roaches to the third base location, but he's also moving into the natural with some Lings. Looks like AlaStOr prioritizes going into the natural. Good fungal growth on all of those Roaches, and Moon is going to be able to get this hatchery, no question about it. But Can he stop the rest of this army from getting away? Good fungal growth, good surround there. Still some lings burrowed in the natural, and we actually have some in the main as well, and this could prove to be absolutely devastating for AlaStOr a little bit later on. Good job catching these roaches, but we'll wait and see when these lings decide to unburrow, because at that point all hell is going to break loose in the main and natural expansion. Great investment for the future there from Moon, and I'm not sure AlaStOr even realizes they are there. So that's really, really cool stuff. Moon getting away with this one Infestor as well. Morphing it an Overseer Cocoon, but the Infestor will, in fact, be long gone by the time that happens, so no problems whatsoever. We have got AlaStOr now moving back with his roaches. Still no action from those burrowed lings. I'm going to have to try and keep an eye on them as much as I can. 2 more roaches, going to try and deny the third once more, and Moon is continuing to look very, very dominating in this game, just restricting his opponent to 2 bases, and there we go. That's the ticking time bomb in the natural expansion. Not actually killing too much, but the main base, an incredible amount of damage was done, so 2-pronged attack happening at exactly the same time there. Number of workers killed 17-0, and picking off all these drones that are in gas as well. That's going to be really, really invaluable there, as AlaStOr goes down to 127 supply versus the maxed out Moon. Moon, though, continuing to beef up his Roach Infestor army at the moment. He actually has 1-1 upgrades as well. AlaStOr only has 1-0 upgrades, and that upgrade is on the Carapace. Excellent fungal growth on a whole bunch of those roaches there. Good concaves from both sides, and we have got fungals going everywhere. A lot of infested Terrans getting put down on the field as well. I wonder how many are blue and how many are red. Let's take a quick look. It looks like the majority of them are red, and Moon is going to be able to completely force his army back. GG from AlaStOr, and Moon, ladies and gentlemen, takes game number 1.